Hello and welcome back if you somehow found my small channel. I had a slight problem with my next recording and I had to go back and redo it. As you can see, I mainly had the outline typed ready and even recorded to put on to YouTube. However, we had some errors. I'm not going to be able to look at the script as I do this. However, I think I have my thoughts together enough to actually tackle this challenge properly. Hopefully, I give myself enough recording time to do so. So, as you can probably see from the doc, we're going to be talking about the Sanctuary of the Banished. They're a GOI I'm working on for the SCP Wiki. Now, a lot of the GOIs are special in some way, and I'm not quite sure if they're there yet, or how their interlocking cogs are going to continue. However, most anomalies in the SCP world are to be either locked away or terminated depending on which of the two philosophies you follow, the GOC or the Foundation. Of course, it can be bought and sold by Marshall Cotter and Dart. The only requirement that I have for this GOI is intelligence. Now, you don't have to have a super smart character or some omnipotent super scientist. What I mainly want to focus on and how this GOI stays out of places like a containment cell is teamwork and intelligence. They can use their individual anomalies together to create rather difficult effects for MTFs to deal with. And that's mainly for the joint task force that pursues them and the tail I'm working on between the UIU, the GOC, and the Foundation. I thought it would be an interesting concept to tackle. Speaking, not too many anomalies warrant working together at all in most tales, so I just put a bunch of them together. So, before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Rora Scarlett. She now has a PayPal, and she's an artist. If you see artwork on my stuff, it's probably her. Of course, I will give proper credit as credit is due. But she's my go-to, and she's absolutely wonderful and a very validating person, so please go out and support her. Alright, moving on. So, the Sanctuary of the Banished. What do we got going on? Most people either have an anomalous ability or they have an anomalous item that's too personal to give up. When I first sent this draft out for critique, and it's a huge draft, so I had to break it into chunks, I kept getting a lot of "It's the Serpent's Hand," which is a bit disappointing, but hopefully, even though I don't see it that way, over time I can distinguish the two more. This GOI is mainly focused on their safety, not activism. The good of the group takes priority, and while they would like equal rights, they're not going to go out and protest them for fear of easier Foundation containment. To them, they might as well be dead rather than stuck in a cell. So, I had this whole thing where I was going to do the characters, the different roles they filled, and all of that. However, when going back and making this second recording, I had a little epiphany that I feel that this is all much too condensed, I guess you could say, or focused. So, I think I'm going to try and slow it down, talk a bit slower, and go through the characters and settings much better. I want to say something about the setting, but I feel it'll ultimately be a waste of time because there isn't too much to say. So, moving on. I spent most of the draft talking about the characters, so how about we talk about the structure? It's sort of like a pyramid if a pyramid was curvy, because there are definitely more enforcers than there is leaders of the group. So the two main players that we have are Kayana and Kyle. The alliteration was not intentional. Kyle's the main head of the group, and that's mostly due to his anomalous ability. And then Kayana acts as a sort of second in command. She usually handles the more day-to-day things, while Kyle acts as the linchpin holding the group together. So if something were to happen to him, it would be a struggle for the group, to say the least. This always gives me several ideas, and I'm not sure where I'm ultimately going to take this group. They may end up breaking into several different GOIs. We'll have to see. Sounds like a fun prospect. So, a lot of the members I don't get to cover, mainly because there's a lot, and I've only got so much time. Of course, I will plan to flush out the ones that do appear and I feel don't get realized enough. Sorry for that stutter and delay. So Kyle, I hesitate and delay on his name for one reason. Dr. Sumerian, you may have seen his YouTube channel and his style, and it kind of makes me nervous about Kyle. I designed him to be a compulsion. However, I know how compulsion effects are used in most stories and settings, and it's not compelling. What I'm trying to do here isn't to outright be compulsive with the effect. No, that doesn't sound right. Alright, so a lot of stories, the effect kicks in and then, the hero has to follow through, or it's used, like I'm about to, on nameless goons, just as a showcase of power. I don't plan on using his anomalous effect too much, mainly to keep the group safe, but also just willing to see how far he's going to change and mess up over the series. Because his anomalous ability allows him to have absolute power over over people, objects, anything sentient or sapient. And slowly, it's gonna grow and grow and grow. And soon it'll start to affect a lot more things. And that's when it's gonna get really fun and interesting to write about. Hopefully it's as fun and as interesting for the reader. I brought him up first because I hope the pieces click together, and I hope it encourages the audience to keep a rather close eye and encourage some thoughts that I want associated with them, that I feel would make a compulsion effect worth having in the story. If not, I reckon something's gonna happen to the leader a lot earlier on so that we can have better storytelling. And going to go ahead and apologize already if I butcher and mess this up. So there was 10 segments in the original draft. I have 3 polished, and I plan on publishing those 3 as soon as I get approved of the wiki. I think these segments have overall been pretty good because I've put them through the critique grinder several times. So that means we're just going to be moving on to the next character. Well, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm padding. I'm just really, really nervous. And I don't have an ability to edit this, so this is gonna sound really wrong and jittery. But it's also the 3rd video, and hopefully the audio quality is better because I'm trying a different setup, and I've done a whole lot different with it. And this is also the only chance I get it recording, so I can't really stop. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. I'm torn between who I should do next. I'm going to try Ray. So, Ray's one of the group's headhunters. That means she's a more violent individual. She's often sent down to deal with Foundation agents or officers that the group is known to be dealing with them. She has a unique desire because she wants to keep her kid, not her biological kid by the way, safe. However, or that's her need, I should say. Her want is to make friends who are supposed to be heads that she keeps on a wall. She's I'm not going to say deranged, because outwardly she holds herself together pretty well. Inwardly, she's an utter mess of jumbled thoughts, panic, paranoia. She doesn't want to get betrayed. Well, why did she join the group? Because there's an imminent safety net when you have the group around you compared to being a lone anomaly. If she were alone, she would have been caught and contained. In case you're wondering, she actually has an anomalous item. It's her mask. She speaks like a normal person. I don't really see any fun, quirky speech patterns to give her. Her background is she is normally educated, so no clipping of vowels and putting words together in random conjunctions. She'd sound like you, me, or your girlfriend on any given day. That said, her primary weapon choices are a simple Glock and a knife. Simple woman needs simple tools. So I brought up want and desires, and that's something, desires and needs. And I don't think that's something that's something I haven't covered before, so I hope that's a marked improvement, so that you can see where I want to take these characters, or at least some of the ideas I'm playing with them. So, the kid. Let's talk about the kid. He's interesting because he's sort of the group's mascot. He's innocent. He's young. And I don't have any major plans for him other than being sweet and hopeful. For now, anyway. As he grows and matures and becomes able to do more, you'll probably see more of him. He wants to keep everyone safe. He wants to help out all of the members of the group. He just wants the family to stay together. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to anyone because he feels that they don't deserve it ultimately. Because, well, there isn't really because. These are the people he's known. And to him, the outside forces, like the Foundation and the GOC, look pretty evil. He's of course going to learn, sorry, that not all things are roses and dandying, but I'm not really sure when or how to break his innocence. And then I think that'll about do it for characters, and that might have to be the end of the video here soon. Both because of running out of recording time, but because I was very character heavy in this draft and in the actual story. In fact, I'm pretty sure that there's a perspective change every chapter change, just about. Which, I'm going to try and use this time much more wisely. For the next few times, and hopefully I can start being able to find a way to edit out the dead times. It's quite tricky using the editing on YouTube from just the app. I'm going to try and hopefully find a YouTube editing app, maybe. I thought I'd be able to work on stuff in the studio. I might be able to, but I don't think I can. Anyway, so I'm not sure if it's shown up on screen yet. No, it has not. Alright, so I think I can be able to produce more videos if I can get the time, but I'm starting to think about, unless a character is central to the story or to an organization or to the world building, I'm starting to think that I should put that in separate videos. That way I can that way those videos can be shorter, so I'd have less to keep up with, but also so that interesting characters that you guys or myself enjoy can have a little video and get a breakdown. Of course, I'm not really too good at explaining my writing process and being a good writer just yet. But I do hope it's an interesting prospect. Someone like Mikhail, I could probably make a video about. Alishar could probably use his own video. And of course, 052, right here in this little chunk, could probably use his own video. Which I guess segues us into the next part. I didn't originally plan to talk. No, I don't think I gave proper coverage to 2. Well, he's the reason I had the idea for a separate video. The antagonists. Yes, as all antagonists have to do, I have to be an opposing force to the protagonist. I like to view this whole tale as merely shall we say, a prologue. It's a long prologue, but I feel like it properly establishes some of the functions and some of the hows of the group works. such as the fact that they have meetings together, they try and live normal lives if they can, but they usually operate from a central base. They're losing posters, and their bases usually aren't too good, aren't that great. Sorry. So I feel they can be lots of good stories come out of this, be it character-driven ones, or cat and mouse games, or maybe even some horror and thriller. I'm sorry. 052. I plan for him to be the figurehead, and I do plan to enjoy some more specific antagonists. I'm currently working on a few MTF ideas, one of whom would be well suited for being in constant conflict with the group. However, 5 gets to be removed from most of the combat, which he does not like at all. So that means he's a bit more difficult to get to. And that way there's no really plot armor surrounding him if one of my characters somehow managed to take down all the MTFs guarding him and get in there. They could theoretically take him out. Of course, they'd also have to beat him, and that should hopefully be a tense and tough fight all on its own. I just want to say, guys, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm sorry for not having the thoughts laid out on screen like I usually should. B, the fact that this is going to be terribly edited and that I'm going to have to just get this up pretty soon because I'm running out of time to do this. But I do hope that at least I'm giving you something interesting that you would like to see. It's a pretty late upload, and no, it's right. I may have missed last week, and for that I'm sorry. I'm still struggling with it, defining a good work-life college balance. So hopefully this will all work out. And I plan on trying to getting another video up next week, and maybe I'll upload some on Wednesdays and Thursdays, going in depth about characters. We'll just have to see how sustainable that is. I might not always be able to talk enough, and I consider that at least 5 minutes, so that there's some actual good content there. Hopefully. Not really, I'm still garbage. But, that said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and that everything is going swell. And I will see you guys next time.